33 days of this war raging on, the only hope for some sort of a breakthrough for this conflict to end is, of course, dialogue. And that's why right now everyone's watching out for the next round of talks that will be taking place between Ukraine and Russia, with Turkey as the mediator. The negotiators will be meeting for the 6th time for talks to broker some sort of middle ground to end this war. The talks will be held in Turkey. It's the 2nd time that such a dialogue is being hosted by Ankara. Meanwhile, you have Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky accusing the West of lacking courage as his country fights to stave off Russia's invasion. Zelensky alleged that the West is now playing ping-pong over how and who should deliver fighter jets to Ukraine. Ukraine has alleged, meanwhile, that Russia wants to divide the country into 2 parts and install a puppet government in the occupied area. They have maintained, however, that their resistance will only grow into total guerrilla warfare and derail Russia's plan to successfully put in place a proxy government.
Попереду і новий раунд переговорів, бо ми шукаємо миру, реально, без затягування. Як мені доповіли, є можливість і потреби для очної зустрічі вже на території Туреччини. Це непогано. Подивимось на результат. Наші пріоритети у переговорах відомі. Суверенітет, територіальна цілісність України не підлягають сумніву. Дієві гарантії безпеки для нашої держави обов'язкові. Очевидна і наша мета – мир і якнайшвидше відновлення нормального життя в рідній нашій державі.
Now, here in India today, our reporters have been constantly getting you up to speed with all that's happening in Ukraine as they bravely report from the war zone. And we've been telling you how civilians too have been stepping up now. Armed to the teeth, they've decided that they're going to push the Russians back and won't allow them to step foot in their soil. They're being trained essentially by war veterans. And Gaurav Samant gets you this report of how US war veterans have volunteered themselves, have gone to Kyiv, and are now trying to ensure that they train as many civilians as possible.
We're currently at the Kyiv railway station. There's curfew in place. If you notice, it's pitch dark all around, and we have to stay here till 7 in the morning. But here I bumped into Marshall and John. Marshall is from the United States of America. John is from Canada. And gentlemen, what brings you here?
To help the people of Ukraine.
And how do you intend helping them?
I feel like with my military background, training and experience that I've gathered while serving, I can utilize here, teaching.
So Marshall, incidentally, is a combat veteran. He's had extensive tours of duty overseas with the US Armed Forces. John, you're helping as a volunteer. What
Correct.
do you do?
So I'm actually bringing donations from Canada. I'll be volunteering at the Medika border crossing, just helping refugees. I passed through there a couple days ago. They definitely need all the assistance that they can get, 100%.
So what kind of training will you give here? I mean, will you be a part of the foreign legion? Will you be a part of combat, or will you only train?
I really don't know yet. Maybe both, one or the other. I hope whatever difference I make, it's a positive impact.
This actually could have an impact on your life. I mean, the Russian forces on the other side, and you'd be fighting as an American citizen fighting in Ukraine.
Yes, it's very possible.
And as India Today continues getting you all the latest updates from Ground Zero, Geeta Mohan reached the Donetsk region of Ukraine. Now, it's interesting what's playing out in Donetsk because it highlights essentially the challenge that Ukraine faces. These parts of Ukraine, the Donetsk region, is rebel-held, and they want clearly Putin to go ahead and install a proxy government in Ukraine, which is why we've said time and again that Ukraine is fighting this war on 2 fronts.
Ukraine is fighting a 2-front war, one with Russian invasion forces and the other with Russian-backed rebels of Donetsk, who call themselves the Donetsk People's Republic, a separatist region which is pitted against the Ukraine rule. As Ukrainians battle it out, against Russian aggression, images from southeastern Ukraine tell a different story. India today visited this rebel stronghold of Donetsk to find strong support for Russian President Vladimir Putin and his invasion. In Donetsk, most cars were seen with pro-Russia Z signs. The anti-Ukrainian sign is a call for independence from Ukraine.
Z denotes independence. Russia and the breakaway factions of Donbas region, Donetsk, what they call Donetsk People's Republic, DPR, are together fighting the Ukrainians. And the two signs that they use are signs that Ukraine also recognizes distinctly as being anti-Ukraine, which is V for victory and Z for independence. In Donetsk, you will not see a lot of V signs, you'll see Z. Why? Because the call is for independence. So a lot of cars over here that you see have the Z sign, only saying that they do not want to remain with Ukraine, they want independence.
Russian supporters in downtown Donetsk were also seen paying homage to the lives lost in the Tochka-U missile attack, carried out by the Ukrainians on 14th March. More than 20 people were allegedly killed in the attack, which left marks of shelling on residential buildings.
This is the building that got hit, and I'll show you. This is where it landed. 20 people were killed. That's the memory. That's the memory of the people whose lives were lost. And the entire building over here, you can see the marks of shelling. If you see, there are marks of shelling everywhere in the building.
Lately, it's noted that the attacks are even more frequent than before. I talked with some military personnel, and it's totally speculative what I'm going to say. But one possible explanation is that Ukrainian troops, which are stationed in Donetsk, or near Donetsk right now, it's possibly more than 50,000 of them. So it's a huge troop, and possibly they are sending the sort of a message.
The Moscow-backed separatists have ruled the Donbas region for 8 years now. Russia is now using them as tools to gain upper hand in the invasion war.
Will there be a ceasefire? Will there be an end to war? Can there be negotiations where both sides' demands are met and kept? We'll be reporting on that. With which journalist Satya Rautre in Donetsk, Geeta Print.
33 days into this war, and Russia continues to fire from all cylinders. You look at what's playing out in South Ukraine, the Black Sea, Sea of Azov, all of that, Russia is essentially cut off for Ukraine. And from there, they're also firing and assaulting all parts close to the coast of the Black Sea and the Sea of Azov. The Russian Navy Buyan M missile boat fired 4 caliber cruise missiles that reported widespread destruction in these regions.
A brooding night sky over the Black Sea, torn apart by 4 caliber cruise missiles launched from a Russian Navy Buyan M missile boat. Their targets, Ukrainian sites near the country's capital, Kyiv. Capable of hitting targets hundreds of kilometers away with devastating accuracy, the use of caliber cruise missiles signals a shift into the realm of advanced weaponry in the second phase of this war. The Russian Ministry of Defense has flaunted this video of the Iskander short-range ballistic missile as well, being used to target a claimed foreign mercenary unit using a Kyiv shopping mall as a reloading base for its rocket units. The third major Russian missile system being used is the Yakhont high-speed cruise missile, seen here being launched against a Ukrainian weapons depot in the western part of the country. The Yakhont is a progenitor of the Indo-Russian BrahMos missile in service with the Indian Armed Forces. And the missile that Russia has used for the first time in combat, the Kinzhal hypersonic air-launched cruise missile, seen here smashing into a Ukrainian underground weapons depot. The Kinzhal is a nuclear-capable weapon that has of course been used only with conventional warheads in Ukraine. Four advanced Russian missile systems, all four being used in anger against Ukraine. The damage they're causing, plain for their makers and the world to see. Of course, there's another Russian missile that's on operational alert amidst this Ukrainian crisis. A weapon stored away secretly inside Russia's Bore-class nuclear ballistic missile submarines. A weapon that will hopefully never be used. The Bulava, a submarine-launched intercontinental range ballistic missile. A Cold War weapon that could bring about the end of the world if ever fired in anger. A weapon whose heightened state of alert has sparked nuclear fears across the world. As Russia's war in Ukraine rumbles forward in its second month, missile power will define the onward march. Bureau Report, India Today.